we must remember what God said to his preacher Moses. He said, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, that I may consume them. But look what Moses did. Moses wouldn't leave God alone. He was never more like Christ than in this staunch area of disobedience. For the Bible says that instead of Moses leaving God alone, he fell on his face and began to intercede for the people. He said, save thy people. Oh, my brothers and sisters, I know you don't want to listen to me, but there are some things that could have happened to you. There are some things that God spoke to your man of God that were about to happen to you. But thank God he went down in prayer and said, give him another chance. Don't snatch him away right now. Well, let me share with you another time. I remember the story about the cry of the Syrophoenician woman when she cried, Lord, save my daughter. My brothers and sisters, the remarks that Jesus made to her about the house of Israel actually meant, leave me alone. But that mother wouldn't leave him alone. She pleaded and begged. And see, that's what's wrong with a lot of us. We don't want to beg nobody. We don't want to beg Jesus. But the Bible says that she begged Jesus. She kept on begging him until Jesus, watch this, became mastered by the most disobedient persistency. And she went home and found that her daughter was healed. Touch a neighbor and say, you got to know when and when not to leave him alone. I think you see, my brothers and sisters, as I come to my close, I think you see the point that I'm trying to make to you. With a life to live and a death to die, never let God alone by not praying. So I take sides with Moses and the Syrophoenician woman. I think that it must be understood that I can talk to my God anytime I want to. And even if he tells me to leave him alone, if I keep on praying, if I keep on fasting, if I keep on pursuing, he's gonna hear me after a while. Y'all ain't saying nothing here. Well, my brothers and sisters, then there comes a time when we have to learn how to let God alone to have his way in your life. You ain't gonna like this part of the sermon. That then is one sphere where the earnest heart cannot leave God alone. I think it's only right that I touch on this to safeguard the subject and the subject area of my message from being abused by the doubters who are sitting among us. There is another sphere where God is sovereign, and that is the sphere of action. It is the realm of life. And then it is wisdom to just put God in a place where no one else can be. My brothers and sisters, I read the other day a short story about a great marshal in France's army. History will reveal that there was perhaps no one commander who was more loved by his soldiers. And his name was Vincent de Turenne. He was a marshal in France during the great time of the great Louis. It was he who, if he gained a battle, used to write, "We won." But if he were defeated, he wrote, "I lost." Well, I read how one night, while doing the rounds of his camp, he overheard ever heard some young soldiers bitterly complaining about his leadership? An old veteran who was just recovering from a wound, he said, "You don't know our father, and when you're older you won't talk like that." He said, "Just know that he has some grand end in view that he cannot share with us at this time, or he would never have allowed us to suffer the way we are." Turan, who told the story himself, spoke of the moment of eavesdropping as the proudest and most happiest moment in his life, for it demonstrated the faith and confidence that the old soldier who had been with him had in his leadership. The young men were bitter and angry at his leadership. They thought that things would be different if they were in command. But help me say, the old veteran who had fought with their general many times learned how to leave him alone because they believed that he had their best interests at heart. You ain't hearing nothing I'm saying. And they loved him and didn't bother him because they knew that he would make decisions that would be better for them. And so I've come to share with somebody as I close today who doesn't understand what God is doing in your life right now. Take it from an old veteran. He never fails. Can I get a witness?